Hola clase, this is my introductory video for the Spanish 1 course. My name is Keith Boswell. You can call me Professor Keith, or you can call me for short Profe, which is the abbreviation for professor in Spanish. We do prof in English, and in Spanish it's Profe. So you're welcome to call me, like I said, Professor Keith or Profe, either one, whichever one you're more comfortable with. I wanted to introduce myself briefly, and then I'm looking forward to also watching your introductions. This is the way that we become a real class, and we're not just a bunch of names. We're actually real people who are in this together to win it, right? Um, so I grew up in South America. My parents were Baptist missionaries. We grew up in a little town in Chiclayo, Peru, which is up this northern coast of Peru up here. There were no other Americans in my city, so the only people I spoke English with were my mother, father, and my brothers. I went to school in Spanish half a day up to the fourth grade, and then I was homeschooled the rest of the time. Last year of high school, I moved to Lima and finished there in the capital city, and then left home for college. And so all those years of Spanish have stayed with me. I consider myself a native speaker, even though I've been away from a native environment for many years. I really love the Latino culture. I learned a lot of important things about life and family there. I'm very family oriented. I'm very small village oriented. I love visitors at home. My house is always full of people. I love Latino food. I love salsa, even though I wasn't allowed to dance as a son of a Baptist missionary. But I do love salsa music, and really am happy to be here at Daytona State College teaching Spanish. Um, I lived in Egypt 11 years, learned Arabic. I lived in Hungary for 2 years. I learned Hungarian. Did study abroad in France, and so I learned some French, which I've all forgotten. I've forgotten Hungarian too. But I love to learn languages. I'm not a great memorizer, but what I did like doing is I did like to communicate and talk to people, and I was a very social person, and that's how I learned language because I went out and used it, used it, used it. And I was never the one who spoke the most correct in those other languages I learned as an adult, but I really could always communicate, and I was always very fluent and very fast. And so I know that it's very important to use what you got. And if you don't have anybody to speak it with, just make sure you listen to my advice that I said before, which is to say everything out loud as much as you can. Um, when I lived in Hungary, I taught English for the first time. Really liked it. I had done a year of Spanish Lit in grad school, and I had taught Spanish there. So I really liked teaching. I knew I did, and then when I taught ESL in Europe, I liked that too. And I thought, wow, I could travel all over the world teaching ESL. So I came back to the United States and got married um, and got my master's degree in teaching English second language. So that's after that I went to Egypt, and all those years I taught ESL and open language institutes, and all along the way I was doing some Spanish, teaching Spanish because I'd had that year of Spanish Lit, so and graduate level, so I was able to also teach college level Spanish, and always enjoyed that. And so when I came back from Egypt, I was director of the English Language Institute at Virginia Commonwealth University for a few years, and then I moved and launched the program at Longwood University, and then got sick of the cold weather. Growing up near the equator, I was never used to it. I never used to my ears and nose hurting and my fingers hurting and slipping in ice and snow and all that stuff. I just found it miserable, and so I was looking for a job as further south as I could. I was looking at Southern California, Southern Texas. I was looking at Florida, and I got the job at Embry-Riddle. I was director of their English Language Institute for 5 years, and while I was there, I taught Spanish here in the evenings at Daytona State. I always really loved it. I loved the diversity at Daytona State. I loved the just the fun of getting to teach a foreign language. I've been teaching international students for a long time, which I also love, but that was something different, something new. My kids grew up and left home, and I realized I needed to get back to what I was really passionate about, and that was to teach. And so I started here full time last fall, and really, really, really like to teach. I love to teach. I think it's so fun. I like my face-to-face classes, and I love the online classes. It's so interesting and it's so great to watch people learn and grow and hear their stories and most of all have fun with it. And I think the most important advice I'm going to give you in this course is just let's keep the stress down and don't get to the point to where you're about to um, just throw in the towel. Always make sure that you talk to me and talk to Nico about what you need and what you're dealing with, and tell your fellow students, and let's help each other. Everybody can learn language. It might be easier for children and younger people, but everybody can learn it, and I'm proof because I've learned languages in my older age. Um, Nico is our I forget what his title is. Supplemental instruction, I think. I always want to call him student instructor, but it's a fancier name than that. But he's here to help us, and he's also going to post a video. He's learned Spanish. He learned Spanish here at Daytona State College. He's very fluent and speaks wonderfully, and he um, did it with VHL. So he's done all this stuff. That's something that he's got that I don't have. Is I never learned language in this way. I was a child. I learned it on the street. He's learned it like you're learning it. So take heed to his advice, ask him for help, and he's willing to meet you if you need to meet. He's in groups or individually, and of course he'll write emails and he'll be part of our discussions too. So take advantage of that. Here, this is the first semester we've had something like that here. I'm teaching 5 online classes, so he's here to help, and between the two of us, we want to make this a real wonderful experience for you and a great learning experience. And anyway, bienvenidos. It's great to meet you, and I wish you buena suerte, good luck in the rest of the course.